Hello, YouTube. It's Carrie. I've been watching a lot of videos by other members of the weight loss surgery community, and I've noticed an overwhelming theme that I want to talk about, and that's bloat. Doesn't matter where along the journey we are, whether we're pre-op, whether we feel like we're on a stall, whether we're in maintenance, whether we're trying to lose or regain. There seems to be an overwhelming consensus that something called bloat happens. I don't agree with this. Let me explain why. Take, for instance, period bloat, okay? The monthly bloat. Yeah, hormones can cause changes in the body, and yeah, it's possible to retain more water. But I'm not going to talk about everybody else, what everybody else is doing. That's for everybody else to do. Let me talk about it in my own terms, for me. When I experience something called bloat from getting my period, it's not because I'm retaining water, because I somehow just magically retain water from my period. That's not it. And if we're all going to progress, and if we're going to get to the place where we can be healthy and continue this kind of positive lifestyle until the day that we die, happy and old, we have to get real about shit. And this is one of them. If you're in the hospital and they've been pumping saline into your body for 3 days, then you've got bloat, okay? Then you might have 10 pounds or more of water retention. That's bloat, okay? If you can press your finger in and it stays that way, legit bloat, okay? It's not what we're talking about here. I could say, oh, got my period and I'm all bloated. But what really happened was I got my period. Instead of actually being proactive about stuff and going out and doing things and making sure that I didn't have cramps and sitting home alone and depressed and feeling lousy about myself, instead of actually making plans and doing something positive, I sat on my ass at home and said, oh, woe was me. Oh, I'm in pain. I'm going to treat myself well. I'm going to order Chinese food. I'm going to binge watch Orange is the New Black with a bag of chips and some takeout. I am going to eat that cookie. I am going to eat those 5 cookies. I'm going to have that fattening drink at the Starbucks. I'm going to eat half a burger like I'm a normal person and not a weight loss surgery patient. All of these things are behavioral things that we do. And it might be the salt in the Chinese food also is helping you retain water. I'm not going to doubt that. But it's not period bloat. I'm sorry. I could just as easily go through the same thing and have the hormonal fluctuations and all that, but I'm out exercising. I'm not at home sitting in pain. And I find actually when you are physically active and you have bad cramps, they are not as bad. Maybe that's just me. This is like a revelation to me, though, because I have had terrible cramps my entire life. And it's not an excuse, because truly, I can do more to relieve the cramps by getting outside and being active than by popping pills. And the pills aren't good for me one way or another. If you're taking Advil, it's really not good, because none of us are supposed to take that. And if you're taking Tylenol in heaps and loads, which you might know Tylenol doesn't quite do that much, it's better to take a lighter dose and manage it more with activity and trying to change where your focus lies instead of sitting there in pain and doing nothing about it. You can do something good for yourself too. So getting back to the bloat issue. Have you been feeling bloated? Are you retaining water? Is it not feeling good? You don't like it? Is it really bloat, or is it your behaviors that are causing it? And if it's your behaviors, are you actually going to decide to do something about it? I will tell you my missteps. I'm not perfect. I am far from perfect. If I was so perfect, I would have regained over 100 pounds. Okay? I am not perfect. In fact, this weekend, I undid a whole lot of progress. I went to a barbecue and I indulged myself. I did tell myself I was going to indulge, but I kind of went ham on the thing, and it was not good. And then on top of that, I brought that shit home with me. Bad idea. Don't ever bring leftovers home. I don't care how good it was. I don't care how special or whatever. Just don't do it. They were gone in a day. Okay. This was not good. And I set myself back like considerably. I started off before the weekend being at 169. I weighed myself yesterday and I saw 180 on the scale. 180. That's over 10 pounds. Is some of that bloat? Whatever. It's not bloat. It's because I pigged out on the weekend. Okay? I have to be real about that. And I have to absorb those consequences. So if I'm going to do it, I'm not going to sit there and feel bad about it, because I did it. I made that conscious decision to do it. Am I going to sit here and complain that it's bloat? Hell no, it's not bloat. It's because I pigged out. Okay? That's just how it is. I'm not going to make excuses for it. Why should I? Who am I making excuses for? This is all for me anyhow. This is for my health. This has to do about consequences of my actions. Right? It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or what anybody else is doing or thought about the amount that I lost or didn't lose or maintained or didn't maintain. It's about what I'm doing in my life right now. And, it happens. It happens. And I'm not going to sit there and feel bad about it. I'm not going to make excuses for it, first of all. That's the worst thing that you can do, because making excuses for it is what got me to 250 pounds again to begin with. Truly. That regain started off as bloat. So let's not kid ourselves here, okay? It's not bloat. It's what you're doing. The other thing I kind of want everybody to think about, anybody who's watching this, to think about in the end is, why do we even say that we're bloated when truly we aren't? I'm not talking about a case where you just had major plastics and, you're majorly bloated. I'm talking about the 99% of the other time that we say that we're bloated. Why do we feel the need to have to explain weight gain and delegate all of the responsibility to this ethereal notion of bloat? I think that it's an indication of not taking responsibility. At least for me, it's an indication of not taking responsibility for what I was doing. For instance, when I was regaining all of my weight, I could sit there and say, oh yeah, that Chinese food made me so bloated. But while I was doing that, my body was just like, ooh, easy calories. Okay? When you get to that point in your weight loss surgery journey where you are 3+ years out and you are able to eat those foods again that you couldn't eat for the first little bit, it's the danger zone. Because in testing your limits, and in saying, I'm just going to have a bite of that cookie, oh, guess what? I didn't dump. Maybe that means I can have another bite of that cookie. That is a slippery slope. And it's the same with Chinese food. It's the same with cereal. It's the same with boiled potatoes or risotto. Lord knows, I love risotto. It's the same with French fries. It's the same with hash browns. It's the same with pasta. Like all that stuff. And it cycles through, like, you know, it'll get that ball rolling and make you want it more. So instead of talking about bloat and about all the other reasons for weight gain other than for what we are actually doing and what we are participating in our eating lives, let's get down to brass tacks and make sure that we are taking accountability for what we do if we want to keep accountability ours. If you want to make sure not to regain, if you want to stop regain from happening, stop talking about bloat. Please, please, please stop talking about bloat, because it's not going to help you. It's not going to get you anywhere. I want to get to my goals. I want to get to my lifetime maintenance range, and it's not going to help me by doing that. So let me do the things that help me get there. And for me, that's taking responsibility for my own crappy actions, moving on from it, not having too many emotional attachments about it. I don't have to repent from eating cookies. Okay, I don't have to repent. I ate it. It's fine. I will live. I will get back to where I'm going. And it's important. Get right back on track. Get back to those. Get back to drinking your water. Get back to eating your protein first. Get back to doing movement in the morning or whenever else you can fit it in the day. But make sure you get it in. You know, all these things. Watching your portion sizes, counting, you know, your calories. If you do that, it all works together in consensus to get you where you're going. When you stray from those things, just don't start making excuses. Get right back on track. All right? Bye, guys.